My sister's new boyfriend mocked me at dinner. Everyone laughed. Mom told me to stop making the family look bad, so I let them talk until he mentioned his job. Then I pulled out my phone and watched their smiles fade. I'm Tyler, 26. My family's all about image over integrity. My mom cares more about what neighbors think than actual relationships. My sister Brielle, 28, is the golden child who can do no wrong. I've always been the odd one out, the quiet kid who preferred building websites to socializing. I got a full ride for computer science and spent 4 years working on a side project I never told anyone about. That project blew up. Software licensing deal, decent exit, smart investments, nothing crazy, but enough that I could freelance and live well under the radar. My family assumed I was still figuring things out. Mom would say, "You'll find your calling soon," even after I bought a house outright. Then Brielle's marriage crashed last year. She moved back home and suddenly had a new boyfriend, Brad. Tall, tanned, manicured beard, the type who uses alpha energy unironically. My family loved him. Mom gushed like his publicist. He's very successful in finance. Dad nodded. He carries himself well. Something felt off. Too slick, too rehearsed. The way Brielle looked at him wasn't love. It was performance. Last week, Mom texted, "Family dinner Sunday at 6. Be there." Brielle's bringing Brad. No emoji. No please. Just a command. Against my better judgment, I went. Brad was lounging at the table like he owned it. "Yo, what's up, bro? Nice of you to finally show up." Dinner started normal. Then Brad told this story about a coworker who tried starting a side hustle. Dude thought he was gonna be the next Zuckerberg. Made like $5 and called himself an entrepreneur. Everyone laughed. Mom laughed the loudest. Brad looked at me. "You ever try anything like that, Tyler? I heard you're into that tech stuff." I shrugged a bit. He smirked. "You should talk to this guy I know. He teaches coding to high schoolers. Pretty solid gig for folks who can't break into real development jobs." Brielle laughed. "Ouch, Brad." But she didn't defend me. I glanced at Mom. Nothing. Brad kept going. "I'm in finance. Real world stuff." Dad chuckled. "We could use more of that around here." I stayed quiet. Let Brad dig deeper. Then came dessert. Brad was bragging about his job. "Our firm's launching a new algorithmic fund. The back-end work I've overseen is insane." He leaned back. "We're buying out this tiny dev company, it's Startup Stream or something. Decent tech. We'll probably absorb their platform and hire a few code people if they can keep up." He grinned. "Those guys aren't exactly business-minded. Brilliant, sure, but not cut out for the big table." I set my glass down, slowly. "Startup Stream," I said. "Yeah," Brad said. "You heard of them?" "A bit." "What's your involvement?" "I'm the guy who does the talking. Front-facing. I smooth the deals. Some execs don't like working directly with code people." Everyone's eyes were on me. Brielle nervous. Dad puzzled. Mom frowning. "What are you doing?" Mom snapped as I pulled out my phone. I ignored her. Opened my email. Scrolled. "Startup Stream. That predictive analytics firm your company's buying." Brad raised his eyebrows. "Yeah, cool," I said, holding up my screen. "Because I own it." Silence. Complete silence. Brad's smirk melted into panic. Mom blinked. "What?" I stood slowly. "Startup Stream is my company. I built it. I licensed our product to 3 hedge funds last year. One is the firm you work for. I've had 3 meetings with your department heads. You weren't in any of them." Brad went pale. Brielle looked like she'd witnessed a crash. Dad sat up. "Wait, what?" "I didn't mention it because I knew you wouldn't believe me. Just like every time I tried sharing something real, you treated it like a joke." Mom found her voice. "You own a tech company? Since when?" 3 years ago. "You never said anything. Would it have mattered? You made your minds up about me long ago?" Brad stood, uncomfortable. "Look, man, I didn't know." "Right, because if you did, you wouldn't have said half those things tonight." I looked around the table. At the people who were supposed to be my family. "I'm selling Startup Stream. Deal closes Friday." Mom gasped. "For how much?" I looked at her. "Enough." Then I walked out. Didn't wait for dessert. Just left them frozen at that table. They wanted me to play small, to be quiet, to not make them look bad. Turns out I was just saving my voice for when it actually mattered.